Has Heartland just destroyed the romance between Amy and Nathan before it even had a chance to grow? The Season 19 Episode 1 trailer has dropped, and fans are already worried that Amy's search for happiness is about to be shaken in the most heartbreaking way. The trailer for Heartland Season 19 Episode 1 has sent shockwaves through the fandom, not just because we're returning to the beloved ranch, but because it teases something we didn't expect: trouble in Amy's new relationship with Nathan. For years, Amy has carried the emotional weight of losing Ty, and every fan has wondered if she would ever truly open her heart again. At the end of last season, Nathan appeared as that spark of possibility, a man who seemed patient, caring, and strong enough to stand beside her. But the very first preview for Season 19 suggests that the romance we thought might bring Amy some long-awaited peace may already be crumbling. What makes this trailer so shocking is the way it toys with the audience's expectations. Instead of showing us Amy and Nathan in warm, romantic moments, most of their scenes feel tense, almost as if something unspoken is driving them apart. There are glances that don't linger, conversations cut short, and moments filled with silence that weigh heavier than any spoken line. In a show like Heartland, where emotions are often portrayed through subtle gestures rather than loud drama, these details matter. The absence of warmth between Amy and Nathan in the trailer doesn't feel accidental. It feels like the writers are preparing us for a conflict that could define the entire season. It's important to remember that trailers are crafted with a purpose. They aren't just random clips strung together. They're carefully edited to plant seeds of speculation, to make fans worry, and to create conversations that last until the premiere. By showing Amy and Nathan at odds, the show is pushing us to question everything we thought we knew about their connection. Was Nathan really the right match for Amy, or was he simply a bridge, a temporary comfort after years of grief? And if this relationship begins to fall apart, what does that mean for Amy's journey forward? Thematically, Heartland has always balanced love and loss, hope and heartbreak. From the earliest seasons, Amy's story has been shaped by the idea that healing takes time, and sometimes love arrives in unexpected ways. But this trailer reminds us that love doesn't guarantee an easy road. The uncertainty surrounding Amy and Nathan's romance suggests that the writers aren't interested in giving her a simple, happily ever after. Instead, they want to explore the messy, complicated reality of moving on after tragedy. And as fans, that means we have to prepare for a season where Amy might be tested like never before. There's also the question of audience reaction. The trailer knows exactly what it's doing. It's stirring up fear, curiosity, and debate. Some fans will see this as proof that Amy and Nathan were never meant to be, while others will hold on to the hope that the trailer is misleading us, that the real story is about Amy and Nathan fighting through their struggles and proving their bond is strong. Either way, one thing is clear: Episode 1 is being set up as an emotional battleground, and Amy is standing at the center of it. The trailer for Heartland Season 19 Episode 1 doesn't just show us random clips, it builds an atmosphere. From the very first shot, there's a sense of unease. We see the ranch bathed in quiet morning light, but instead of comfort, it feels heavy, almost as if something is missing. The camera lingers on Amy, and in that stillness, her expression speaks louder than words. It's not joy. It's not relief. It's a kind of searching, like she's standing at the edge of a choice she isn't ready to make. Then comes Nathan. In one of the most talked about moments of the trailer, he appears beside Amy, yet the energy between them feels strangely distant. They're close in space but far in spirit, like two people walking the same path but not moving at the same pace. Heartland fans know this language well. When the show wants to hint at tension, it doesn't shout, it whispers. The trailer whispers that something is breaking, and if we're paying attention, we can feel it. What's clever is how the trailer intercuts Amy and Nathan's moments with the presence of family. We see Jack in a concerned stare, Lou deep in thought, and Tim carrying his usual blunt energy. These aren't just filler shots. They're signals. The family, as always, is part of Amy's journey, and their reactions frame the struggles she's about to face. When the camera cuts back to Amy after these family glimpses, the message is subtle but clear. Her choices don't just affect her, they ripple out, touching everyone at Heartland. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of the trailer is what it chooses not to show. There are no long embraces between Amy and Nathan, no smiles that linger, no promises whispered under the Montana sky. Instead, there are pauses, looks, and words left unsaid. One clip shows Amy walking away while Nathan calls after her, his voice tinged with frustration. Another moment has Amy standing alone, looking at something we don't see, while the soundtrack swells with a mix of sorrow and suspense. It's as if the trailer is asking, is Amy really ready for this love? Or is her heart still caught in the shadows of her past? For longtime fans, these images hit hard. We've been on this journey with Amy since the very beginning. We saw her grow from a young girl into a resilient woman who has carried both triumph and tragedy. So when a trailer positions her in silence, in hesitation, in potential heartbreak, it doesn't just tease an episode. It stirs every memory we've had of her struggles. That's why the trailer feels so much bigger than just a preview. It feels like a challenge laid out by the writers, and let's not overlook the pacing of the edit itself. The first half moves slowly, almost tenderly, and then the tempo picks up. Quick flashes, Amy turning her head, Nathan's hand dropping in defeat, Lou slamming a car door, Tim shouting something that cuts through the noise. These aren't random. They're building blocks, pushing us toward one conclusion. Season 19, Episode 1 isn't going to ease us back into the story with gentle comfort. It's going to test our expectations, and it's going to throw Amy and Nathan into the fire from the start. When the trailer ends, it doesn't resolve. It leaves us hanging, deliberately unresolved, with questions echoing louder than answers. And that's the genius of it. It pulls us into debate, into speculation, into caring so deeply that we start to argue among ourselves. Is this the end of Amy and Nathan before it even begins? Or is this just the storm they have to survive together? Amy and Nathan's relationship was meant to be a light in the darkness, a chance for Amy to feel alive again after years of grief. But when we look closely at the Season 19 Episode 1 trailer, what we see isn't light, it's flickers of doubt, shadows crossing over what should have been happiness. And that's where the heartbreak begins. From the first frame where Amy and Nathan appear together, the energy feels off. He reaches for her, but she doesn't fully meet his gaze. She smiles, but it's not the smile of someone completely free, it's the careful kind, like she's trying to convince herself as much as him. These small details matter, because Heartland has always told its deepest truths in quiet, subtle ways. The show rarely needs big, dramatic blow-ups to make us feel something. It lets us see the cracks forming in the silence. And here, silence seems to dominate their bond. One of the most striking moments is a short scene where Nathan says something we can't quite hear, but Amy's reaction tells the whole story. Her eyes soften, then harden, as if she's caught between wanting to agree and being unable to give him what he wants. That's not the reaction of a woman fully at peace in her relationship, that's the look of someone wrestling with herself. And it makes us ask, is Amy really ready to let go of the past, or is she still haunted by Ty's memory in ways Nathan can never compete with? For Nathan, this silence becomes its own wound. He enters Amy's life as the man who believes he can offer her steadiness, compassion, and perhaps even love. But Nathan's strength has always been patience, and patience has a limit. The trailer shows us hints of that limit. His shoulders slumping after a conversation, his voice raised just slightly louder than usual, his expression flickering with frustration. It's not that Nathan is angry, it's that he feels shut out. And for a character who has tried to walk carefully around Amy's pain, being locked out of her heart may be the very thing that breaks him. The deeper question, though, is whether this relationship was ever meant to last. Heartland has built its reputation on authentic storytelling, not fairy tale endings. And Amy's romance with Nathan has always carried a certain fragility. He isn't Ty. He never will be. And while fans wanted Amy to find happiness, there's always been a quiet debate in the fandom. Should she move forward with Nathan? Or should the show allow her to remain single, focusing on herself, her daughter, and the ranch? The trailer seems to tap into this debate directly, hinting that maybe Amy's story isn't about rebuilding romance at all, maybe it's about learning to stand strong without it. At the same time, there's another possibility. The conflict we see in the trailer could be intentional misdirection, setting us up to believe that Amy and Nathan are doomed, only to later reveal that their struggles make them stronger. After all, every great Heartland romance has been tested. From Lou's complicated relationships to Tim's rocky attempts at love, nothing has ever been smooth. Perhaps Amy and Nathan's distance isn't an ending. It's the rough beginning of a story about trust, honesty, and vulnerability. Still, the weight of the trailer leans heavily toward heartbreak. The lighting, the pauses, the tone, it all suggests that the writers want us to question whether Amy and Nathan are truly meant to be together. And that's what makes this season so intriguing. It's not about simple answers. It's about emotional truth. Can Amy truly give her heart again, or will her love story with Nathan serve as a reminder that moving forward doesn't always mean finding another partner? What the trailer really does is leave us in the middle of that question. And as viewers, we can't look away. Because whether we're rooting for Amy and Nathan or fearing their downfall, we're emotionally invested. And that's the genius of this storyline. It doesn't just play out on screen, it plays out in our hearts. Amy and Nathan's story doesn't exist in isolation. One of the things that makes Heartland so powerful is how every character's choices ripple outward, touching not just individuals, but the family, the ranch, and even the spirit of the land itself. That's why the Season 19 Episode 1 trailer feels so rich. It doesn't just focus on romance. It weaves Amy and Nathan's tension into the larger web of family drama and emotional stakes. Take Jack, for example. In several brief shots, his expression is heavy with concern. He's the anchor of Heartland, the one who always seems to sense trouble before anyone else. When the trailer lingers on Jack's face, it isn't filler, it's foreshadowing. Jack has always been protective of Amy, and if he senses that Nathan isn't the right fit, his silent disapproval could become one of the biggest obstacles in their relationship. His role here isn't just about family wisdom. It's about representing the old guard, the deep connection to Ty's memory, and the question of whether Amy can truly move forward without losing part of herself. Lou's presence, too, is telling. She's caught in her own struggles, her career, her identity, her relationships, but the trailer hints that she'll have something to say about Amy's choices. Lou has always tried to balance being supportive with being practical, and if she sees cracks in Amy's romance, she won't stay quiet. The question is, will her advice bring clarity, or will it push Amy further into doubt? Lou's storyline often mirrors Amy's in unexpected ways, so her perspective might hold a clue to how the season's emotional arcs will unfold. Then there's Tim, the eternal storm cloud of the Heartland family. The trailer flashes one scene of him speaking harshly, his words cutting through the atmosphere. We don't hear what he says, but the tone is unmistakable judgment, frustration, maybe even anger. Tim has never been shy about interfering in Amy's life, and if he believes Nathan is leading her down the wrong path, he'll make it known. But here's the twist. Sometimes Tim's bluntness is exactly what Amy needs to face the truth. The trailer seems to position him as a disruptive force, but he could also be the catalyst that pushes Amy to make the hard decision about where her heart truly lies, beyond the family. The trailer teases a larger sense of instability. The shots of the ranch fences breaking, storms rolling in, moments of quiet tension aren't just background imagery. Heartland has always used the ranch itself as a metaphor. When the land is calm, so are the people. When storms hit, it mirrors the emotional chaos brewing in the family. The imagery in this trailer leans toward conflict, suggesting that Season 19 will be about testing foundations of love, of family, and of the Heartland Ranch itself. And this brings us back to Amy and Nathan. Their romance isn't just a personal storyline, it's a thread that ties into all these bigger arcs. If Amy and Nathan struggle, the whole family feels it. If they break apart, the ranch absorbs that weight. And if they somehow survive, their survival will symbolize something bigger: resilience, the ability to grow even when storms hit. But the most intriguing possibility is the idea of a love triangle, or at least an emotional triangle. The trailer leaves space for speculation. Is Nathan the only man in Amy's story right now, or is someone else waiting in the wings? The show may not be bringing in a direct rival, but the third presence could simply be Ty's memory. And in some ways, That's even more powerful. Nathan isn't just competing with another man, he's competing with the ghost of a love that defined Amy's life. That shadow looms over every choice she makes. And the trailer reminds us that some ghosts are harder to let go of than others. What makes all of this so compelling is that the trailer doesn't answer any of these questions. It leaves us dangling, caught in the space between heartbreak and hope. That's the magic of Heartland. It invites us to speculate, to argue, to imagine a dozen different outcomes. And in doing so, it keeps us connected not just to the characters, but to each other as fans. So what does all of this mean for Season 19, Episode 1 of Heartland? If the trailer is any indication, Amy's path this season won't be about easy answers or smooth romances. It will be about choice, identity, and the question that has lingered over her life ever since Ty's death. Can she truly open her heart again, or is love something she can only carry as a memory? The heartbreak hinted in the trailer feels intentional. The pauses, the silences, the way Amy and Nathan never quite lock eyes, it all suggests that their relationship is being tested to its breaking point. But maybe that's the point. Heartland has never been about fairy tale simplicity. It has always been about resilience, about facing storms and finding strength in the mess of real life. And Amy's story this season could be less about falling in love again, and more about discovering who she is when love doesn't come easy. What makes this setup so powerful is that it mirrors the audience's own debates. Some fans desperately want Amy to find a second chance at happiness with Nathan, believing she deserves light after so much loss. Others feel that her story shouldn't revolve around romance at all, that her healing should come from her daughter, her horses, and her family. The trailer seems to embrace that very divide, pulling us into the tension so deeply that we can't stop asking questions. And maybe that's exactly what the writers want. Because the truth is, this isn't just about Amy and Nathan, it's about what Heartland represents after nearly 2 decades on screen. It's about whether the series will keep pushing Amy into new chapters, or whether it will let her find peace on her own terms. Season 19 isn't just another set of episodes. It feels like a turning point, a moment where the show has to decide, does Amy step forward into a new life, or does she discover strength in standing alone? And that's where we, as fans, come in. The trailer is a spark, but the fire is in the conversations we have after watching it. Every theory, every debate, every hope we cling to fuels the Heartland community. We may not know yet if Amy and Nathan's romance is destroyed or simply reborn through hardship. But what we do know is this: the journey will keep us talking, keep us caring, and keep us coming back. So here's the real question. What do you think? Is the trailer warning us that Amy and Nathan's story is already doomed? Or is it tricking us into believing the worst so their love can rise stronger than ever? Share your theories in the comments, because the beauty of Heartland has always been that it's not just a show, it's a conversation between the characters, the story, and all of us watching. And if you're ready to dive deeper into every twist and hint this season throws our way, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and join me for future breakdowns. Because one thing's for sure, if episode 1 is this intense, the rest of season 19 is going to leave us breathless. This is only the beginning.